I know that buying a home isn't for everybody, especially when the interest rates are over 7%. I know this has put a lot of people on the sidelines and they're looking to rent right now instead of purchasing. This video is going over what you can expect finding a rental property, so stick around. My name is Eric Larkin and I'm a real estate agent here on the Space Coast. And when I'm not making videos like this one, I'm helping people buy and sell real estate. I also answer a lot of questions about their upcoming move. So whether you're moving next week, next month, or next year, and you've got questions, I'm here to help. I've got all my contact information below in the first comment. Let's schedule a call. Let's talk about the market conditions here in Brevard County for someone looking to rent a property. Today and for the last couple of years, demands on rentals have been exceptionally high here in Brevard County. Rent prices are higher today than what they were a few years ago. Part of the reason for this increase is because of the demand. The other part is because of the cost to purchase a home. If somebody buys a home to make it a rental property, their expenses are higher than somebody a few years ago, which in turn will make your rental prices a little higher too. Right now, we're averaging 177 homes renting every single month here in Brevard County. This morning when I logged in, we had 312 single-family homes available for rent. This puts us at under a 2-month supply of homes available for you, the potential tenant moving into our area. The average time on market is about 31 days, and yes, these homes are renting quickly. For context, before I get into what the actual rent ranges are here for Brevard County, this is the criteria I use from our MLS for this particular search. I'm only looking at single family homes that are 3 to 4 bedrooms and that have 2 to 3 bathrooms. They are unfurnished homes looking for a long-term tenant. Rent prices for the last 12 months range from $650 a month for the low end up to $8,900 per month. Except for the city of Melbourne, it's hard to find a single family home rental under $1,400 per month. Melbourne did have a wider range of rents, at least for the last 12 months. Median rental prices are anywhere from $2,000 a month to $2,700 per month. Timeframes. Landlords and property managers, they do not like to hold properties. Let's assume that you found the home that you liked and you submitted your application. Once they approve your application, they are going to expect your first month's rent, security deposit, whatever it is to process the lease, to get you the keys and take occupancy of the home sooner than later. You might be able to extend that out a week or two, but do not expect the landlord and property manager to hold the property for 30, 40, or 60 days for you to move in. Once they accept your application and they pull the property from the market, they're expecting payment for that particular property. Since vacancies cost the landlord money, more than likely they have a mortgage tied to this property that they have to pay every single month, whether there's somebody living in it or not, is why they want for you to take occupancy as soon as possible. Application costs and the process. Applications for rental property cost anywhere from $50 to $100 depending on the property manager. This will be for every adult living in the home. If you are a married couple, they might have one charge for both of you, but anybody else living in the home, if they are 18 years or up, whether they're older children or a roommate, each one of those will have to run an application at the $50 to $100 cost. They're going to want to know your history, what you make, what you pay, what your bills are, your job, how long you've been there, what kind of vehicles that you're driving, your rental history, whether you've had an eviction, do you have any pets? If there's any red flags that could pop up while they're processing this application, it's better to let them know before you turn in your application. Minimize the surprises. Do you have a low credit score? Do you have student loans? Do you have outstanding medical bills? Have you been late paying your rent? Have you ever had an eviction? It's better to discuss this up front before they run the application to see if it's going to be an issue with the landlord approving your application. Plus, this will also save you the $50 to $100 if it is going to be a roadblock with this particular owner. The application, the final decision on whether you're approved or not for a particular property is the decision of the landlord or owner. If you are applying to a property where there's multiple applications and your application happened to not be chosen, just know that if there's another property that you like that's managed by that same property manager, they can reuse your application for the next 90 days. Unfortunately, applications are not transferable from one property manager to another. So if there's 3 homes that you like with 3 different property managers, those are 3 different sets of fees in order to get your application processed. Do you have any pets? I know that having a dog or a cat They are part of your family. But I also know that if you're renting a property and you have pets, the number of properties that are available for you are drastically reduced. Today in our MLS, we have 312 single-family homes that are available for rent, and only 155 of them will consider you having a pet as a tenant. That's over half of the inventory that's no longer available for you moving into the area. If you have more than one pet, it's going to be a challenge finding you a rental property. If you have a pet that's larger than 20 pounds, there's going to be challenges. And if your dog happens to be one of the 10 dangerous breeds, it's going to be difficult to find you a rental as well. If you do find the home that is pet friendly, just know you're going to have to provide your vet's information and medical history for the dog to confirm that they've had their shots up to date, and also expect to pay additional security deposits. I see them ranging from $250 to $500 depending on the property and also the size of your pet. Also depends upon how many pets that you have too. Some landlords and property managers will ask for that deposit for each pet that you have. One of the costs of renting a property is a lease preparation fee. Most property managers, they actually hire a real estate attorney to draw up the lease for their properties that they're managing, and there is a lease prep fee that goes along with it that is the tenant's responsibility. Most of these prep fees are between $50 and $100 per lease. I have seen them as high as $250 though, so it depends upon the property manager and what the costs are going to be. So you submitted your application, they've approved your application, now you need money in order to move in. They're going to want first month's rent. They're going to want a security deposit, which is usually around the first month's rent. They could ask for a last month's rent as well. And if you have a pet, you'll have to pay that pet deposit too. What do you think about the information so far? Thumbs up are appreciated. And any questions you have, drop them in the comments. Now, if you move on any other date but the first of the month, there could be some prorated rent that's due. So you've already paid everything I just mentioned, first month's rent, security deposit, etc. The prorated rent, let's just say you moved in on September 15th, so you've got 2 weeks in September that you're living in the property. That prorated rent might be due when you turn in all the other money, or they're going to have that prorated rent actually due on October 1st as the 2 weeks, and then November 1st and beyond you pay whatever the rental amount is. The reason they don't collect it first and then you start paying your full month's rent on October 1st is because the real estate commissions are all pulled from that first month's rent. Typically half of that rent is used for commissions, and then the other half sets up the escrow for that particular property with the property manager. As you're house hunting online for that potential rental property, just be aware of some scams that I hear are happening. If you're looking for property on the bigger sites like Realtor.com, Redfin, Zillow, my website, or some of these big brand real estate websites, you should be okay. If you see rentals on social media or a property on Craigslist, for example, these scammers are scraping photos from MLS listings or from other online sites of vacant homes, and they're advertising them as rental properties claiming to be the owners. They only communicate via email or maybe through WhatsApp. They can't meet you locally because they're traveling somewhere in a third world country or they're on some type of mission trip. Their email address looks semi-legit. It's similar to what the name is on tax records, but it's not really the owner. They're just trying to scam you out of the money, getting first month's rent and security deposit. Usually the rental rates seem exceptionally low for the area, but they only want to get your money and then they're out. Instead, I highly recommend you talk to a legitimate leasing service, you talk to a real estate agent or a property manager to help you find your rental property with your move to Brevard County or wherever you might be moving to. If you have any questions about finding a rental property here in Brevard County or an upcoming move, I would love to hear from you and have the opportunity to help. I'll have all my contact information in the description below or pinned to the first comment. Find it there. Let's schedule a phone call and get you moving here to Florida. My name is Eric Larkin with Real Brokers. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next show.